Welcome back, everybody, to the fourth and final part of our card review of Forged in the Barrens from a Wild perspective. We are now on Warlock, so we'll cover Warlock, Warrior, and then the neutral cards, and then we're done. So, first up, I've got Grimoire of Sacrifice. This is a 1-mana shadow spell. Destroy a friendly minion. Deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. First off, I want to say, in my opinion, that the bulk of these Warlock cards, suck really hard. They're just awful. I do not understand this self-mill thing at all. If this is something that I'm missing, let me know, but it seems awful to me. That being said, I really like this card in Q-Block. I think that this is better than, so in Q-Block, there are only a few ways to pop your own cube. We don't play most of them anymore. There's only a couple. I like this one because it's got AoE attached to destroy a minion. So I give it a 3. I actually like this one quite a bit. Sheep, what do you think?
Yeah, I wasn't very high on this card, and then you explained the virtues of it in Q-Block, and I can see some edge play of it. At the very least, I like the AoE aspect of it. I want to go 2. I don't think it's bad by any stretch of the imagination. I just think that, there may be other things that Q-Block ends up wanting to do instead rather than play this. But Q-Block in particular much better than I. So I'll bump it up to a 2. What do you think, Hydra?
I think it's a great card for Q-Block. Is Q-Block meta right now? No. So it's definitely not a 4. Is it fringe? Yes, it's fringe. But if we're playing Q-Block, I feel like I want to play this card. I want to pop my cube, so I'm going to hit it at a 3. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, I give this card a 3 as well. I just like the fact that it's 1 mana and it says destroy a friendly minion. That's enough for me. So definitely give it a 3.
I mean, you have to compare it, right, to Plague of Flames. And is it better than that? It depends, against
situationally.
Situationally against wide boards, you're Odd Pally or something, and that's where Q-Block can struggle in the early game against hyper aggressive decks. And then you also compare this to the 1 mana one that got nerfed. It gives you 4 health now. Destroy a minion, friendly minion, gain 4 health.
I think it's definitely better than that one.
Yeah, so I don't know. I like it. I'll just move on. Imp Swarm is a ranked spell. It's a 2 mana fel spell. Rank 1 is summon a 3/2 imp. The 2 upgrades are summon 2 3/2 imps and summon 3 3/2 imps. And this card blows chunks so hard. If I was gonna play something like this, I'd play Darkest Hour Warlock, and there's way better spells to play. I just don't understand. I loved Zoo back in the day, but Zoom's not good. Zoo's not good anymore. I don't know. If I was gonna play Zoo, I'd play Lackeys or something, or Eggs. I don't know, but not. I just don't see it. But I could be missing something. Sheep, what do you think?
So is that a 1 for you, Nate?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's a 1.
Yeah. So I absolutely love Zoo. Zoo is a blast. And Wild, Zoo is disco. I don't want to on 2. I don't want to just summon a Flame Imp. I'd rather damage my own hero and get mana back with Dark Glare.
Mm-hmm.
If I have 5 mana, then I get 2 of them. Yeah, it's a 1 for me as well. What do you think, Hydra?
Everything you just said, Sheep. It's a 1 for me. Mike?
And
You're
you,
muted.
my friend? I'm muted.
Sorry, I messed up. Misplay. This card's a 1. Don't like it in any deck. I'm all set. It seems meh.
Yeah.
New player card. It's cool. New players are cool.
Yeah. All right. Next up is Cabal Outfitter. It's a 3 mana 3/3 Battle Cry and Death Rattle. Give another random friendly minion +1/+1. I don't know. This was another Zoo thing to me that's maybe standard. I don't know. I give it a 1. I just think it's bad. Sheep.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. Standard, lost a lot of stuff. maybe this is what they need for Zoo to work for them. It's way too slow for us. So 1 for me as well. What do you think, Hydra?
Definitely not a wild card. Score of 1. Mike, what you got?
Yeah, it's going to need more help. It's definitely a 1. Sorry, Cabal Outfitter.
All right. Moving on. Apothecary's Caravan. This is a 2 mana 1/3. At the start of your turn, summon a 1-cost minion from your deck. Like, no, this is super poo. I give it a 1. Like, I don't like this. I don't like anything about it, honestly. Like, I don't usually trash cards too much, but like this is super trash. So, I don't know.
So you remember how down I was about the dormant cards, right? Not a fan. Hated it. Hated the mechanic. Everything about it. This is like dormant. Not quite as bad, but this card in particular is 1 for me as well. Hydra.
I'm going to stick with the theme of it says at the start of your turn, 2 mana 1/3. Sorry, it's 1. Mike?
Yo, same here. And as I look over all these Warlock cards, I know Warlock is the best class in Wild, but none of these cards really are that appealing. So I'm going to stay consistent and on brand and give it a 1. Nothing, yeah.
All right.
Like Caravans, but not this one.
I mean, I love that there's a theme that kind of carries over throughout the, and in looking at it, yeah, I don't know, whatever. Let's just.
I mean, I want my 1-cost minions to do damage to my face, right?
Yeah, or to the enemy, or to something, but not.
Yeah.
Not to.
If it was a battle cry or a death rattle, then sure. But at the start of your next turn.
Yeah. Okay. Next up is Bloodshard Bristleback. This is a 3 mana 3/3 with lifesteal. Says battle cry. If your deck contains 10 or fewer cards, deal 6 damage to a minion. Like, oh man, this is another one for me. I just don't like it. I heard a couple people saying like, oh yeah, maybe play this in Reno Lock. Like, why? I mean, okay, if your deck is almost empty, so what? That means if you draw it the first 2/3 of the game, then you do not, like, you just sit on it and not play it. Like, okay, at the worst, it's a 3 mana 3/3 lifesteal. Even then, the 6 damage is to a minion. Like, if it was just 6 damage anywhere, it'd be better. But like, it's so conditional, and I don't. Yeah, it just seems bad. I give it a 1. Sheep.
Yeah. Standard is looking at doing a whole bunch of stuff with like milling themselves and thinking it's cute, and even at that, I don't think it'll be good there. Wild, we've got better stuff to do. It's a 1 for me. What do you think, Hydra?
Its golden animation must look awesome. 1.
Yeah, I give it a 1. As a card player, I look at this and I'm just like, all right, so like, what am I actually doing here? This just feels like a custom card, like a created card. It's a 10 cards in my deck, and then deal 6 to a minion. Like, I played card games for over 20 years. Like, this just doesn't do it for me. So this is a 1.
Yeah. All right. Next up is Soul Rend. This is a 4 mana shadow spell. Deal 5 damage to all minions. Destroy a card in your deck for each killed. Like, what? I don't know, man. There's better AoE, and I don't want to destroy cards in my deck. Like, they're trying this new archetype of like self-mill, but the payoff sucks so much that like, why would you even do that? I don't know. If it was like one of those, you run out of cards, you win the game or something, like, okay. But the payoff is awful. So this is a 1 for me. It just seems terrible. Sheep.
Yeah. This card is a 1 for me as well. When we get there, I'll explain my issues with the payoff, but even at that, I have issues with the payoff. So this card in a vacuum, even without the payoff, even with the payoff, 1. What do you think, Hydra?
I mean, maybe they're leading up to somewhere in the future. This kind of thing could be some sort of archetype that's actually good. I don't know, but right now this does not look like something I want to be doing. I remember looking at Hemet and being like, "What the heck?" But then Hemet does something now, right? So maybe one day, but right now it's a big fat 1.
Yeah, this gets a 1 from me until they introduce a mechanic or a style where I can access cards that have been destroyed, this is a one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's nothing about this. Looking at this makes me think of a different card game. I'm not trying to be that weird anti-Hearthstone. No, I'm just saying, like, there's no way I can get the cards that got destroyed from my deck, so why would I play this?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Next up is Altar of Fire. This is a 1-mana fire spell. Destroy the top 3 cards of each deck. Like, okay. My first thought is this is hot garbage. My second thought was like, well, I guess it's like combo disruption if you know it's coming. Like, okay, your opponent plays Polkelt. Like, you can play this. But wouldn't you just play Gnome Feratu instead? Now, the difference is Gnome Feratu will mill 1, and this mills 3, and so nothing feels worse than when you, like, Gnome Feratu and pull their, like, Psychic Scream or something. You're like, oh, well, that didn't do what I wanted it to. But, like, and so I'm giving it a 2. I think, like, super duper fringe play for combo disruption, but, like, the downside, to me, really outweighs the positive side. Like, I will run Gnome Feratu in Reno lock any day over this, but I'm keeping my eye on it just in case. Sheep, what do you think?
Yeah, you said it was hot garbage. It's a fire spell. It's Altar of Fire. Huh?
Oh, it's a steaming, flaming pile of poo.
Yeah. It's a 1 for me. If at some point, we'll talk about the payoff card, but when we get there. But yeah, this is a 1 for me. What do you think, Hydra?
I would like to give it a 2 because it does fall under fringe for me. If all we're seeing is Priest, Raza Priest, and you want to target that specifically, I feel like you should just be playing your own game instead of try to disrupt their game. So I don't think that it's something I would include. So I'm going to give it a 1. Mike?
So, Hydra set it up perfectly for me. Because you should play the game, because you should play your own game and not try to disrupt others. It's just a misfortune of mine that it just happens to be that's all I run into.
Mm-hmm.
So, for the percentage of people that I play against, I'm giving this card a 3. Here's why. Because when you look at the meta, you have the people who are dedicated to Glare Warlock, so they're not going to play this. It's fine.
Sure.
Then there are other decks such as Reno Lock, and there are other decks Cube Lock and Discard. So outside of those, there are players at the MMR I'm at, and it's just where I'm at, so I'm speaking to this crowd, where they like to play decks that purposely break up combos and purposely disrupt, and their initial goal isn't to actually win. But if they do disrupt your combo and win, they win. So I feel like this card is playable in those decks. I see these decks a lot. I have them in Deck Tracker. I categorize them as annoying, so that's why I give this card a 3, because I love combos. And I always just run into people who are just dirty ratting me or playing various other cards that just disrupt what I'm trying to do. And this is just annoying. So I give it a 3. Sorry I talked too long.
Speaking of that,
3 times.
those same people will play Skulking Geist, and then you'll lose this card.
True.
Hey, that's funny.
Oh, God. All right.
Oh, wait. I got one little thing there. You know that card we already talked about, a Druid that makes all your things 1 mana?
Oh.
What if you're on Skulking? Just for fun. Just kill everything.
Rip.
Oh.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I mean,
Anyway,
it only destroys spells, but still
That's pretty funny.
amazing.
All right.
Yeah, especially if all your things are minions, right? So you're just running
Right.
minion base, and then you destroy whatever spells are in their deck with Skulking. Oh,
Hey.
we're on to it, boys.
That's next level.
All right. Next up is Barrens Scavenger. This is a 6-mana 6/6 with taunt. Costs 1 while your deck has 10 or fewer cards. So this is synergy with that self-mill stuff. Like, I don't like it. The payoff doesn't seem like, dude, if I want to cheat out cards, there are way more fun ways to do it and better minions to cheat out. Art looks super cool. I give it a 1.
The art, I don't even think looks that great. Like it's a well done piece of art.
It's colorful.
I'm not knocking the art.
Yeah.
It's just, whenever I'm like, oh, this thing looks like super cool, and it's a 1 for me. I'm not gonna crap talk the art, but at the same time, I want to see some Shutterwalk. Like I want to see some
Yeah.
So
Bright colors.
very thematic art. Yeah, very nice colors. Like the thematic, the scavenger. That's cool. The art definitely achieved what it was supposed to. I'm waxing poetic about the art. It's a 1-star card. A Hydra, what do you think?
I think that it doesn't have a demon tag, so that doesn't do anything. I mean, late game, it's just 1 cost, which is cool, I guess, but this is not what I'm looking to do in Warlock. 1-star card.
But like late game, you just play it for 6 and not care, right?
Yeah, exactly. What does it matter if it's 1? Like, yeah, sure, fine. You can play it combined with another big card or whatever. Like, oh, you could Twisting Nether and then play this. Like, wow. I don't know. Doesn't really matter to me, I guess. So, yeah, still 1. Yeah, Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, this card's a 1. I don't understand the goal of trying to get 10 cards in my deck. Unless there was a card that said, like, you win the game, like a Mega 3. But this is a 1. I'm all set.
Yeah. All right. Okay, we get to the legendaries. So Tamsin Rome. Now isn't this like the sister or something of the paladin character, right? Something like that. I think that's correct.
Oh,
same last name. Yeah. So this is
when are we doing a lore episode? Sorry.
Next week, actually. So
I knew I was trying to hype it up.
yeah, this will be exciting. So this is a 3-mana 1/3. Whenever you cast a shadow spell that costs 1 or more, add a copy to your hand that costs 0. This is a 4 for me. Like, I think I thought about giving it a 5. It's a solid 4, and I'll tell you why. When you look at what the shadow cards are, 0-mana spells are awesome. So this Power Overwhelming, Defile, Sense Demons, Twisting Nether, like a copy for 0 is super cool. So you know what? Like, yeah, I don't see a downside. Like the shadow cards are actually pretty good. This is like I almost gave it a 5. Like this is gonna be my golden craft for sure.
Wow.
This I mean, I could see slotting this into Reno Warlock very easily. I could see slotting into other Warlock decks very easily. Yeah, you put this in Dark Glare, dude. You play a whole bunch of Power Overwhelmings for free. Like,
yeah.
Now it has a catch-all, right? So the reason that it says you have to play a shadow spell that costs 1 or more is so that you can't go infinite, right? It's not, you can't just play a bunch of 0 cost. But like, yeah, this seems nutty to me. Sheep, what do you think?
So I'd written down 3, but you've totally convinced me. This is definitely a 4 because it's going to be played in Reno. It's going to be played in Dark Glare. You're just going to play it. If your opponent plays the what's it called? It's not Necrim Apothecary. The 2-mana 3/2 that makes your opponent's spells cost 1 more next turn. If they play that, you drop Tamsin. You play PO as many times as you can, and you just win. Because all of those ones that would cost 0 cost 1, so you can go and yes, you have to do the 5 initial for this, and then plus the 2-mana Power Overwhelming. But then every other one, you can have 3 more POs, and then put another PO into your hand.
Gross.
That will cost 0. So, I mean, this is going to be a good card. It's going to be played in Dark Glare and Reno, like you said. Easy peasy. 4 stars for sure. What do you think, Hydra?
Completely agree. It slots right into meta decks instantly as soon as the sets go live. That puts it at a 4. So 4 for me. Mike?
If you play Warlock and you like to win games, this is a 4. This is the card for you. My only question is, what is this object that Tamsin is holding? It's also in the Altar of Fire. I'm curious to see if we're going to learn about it on the episode.
I think it's the Philosopher's Stone. Just kidding.
Harry Potter. Where's Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I'm curious. I'm really curious about the lore. And I would guess, I don't know, some Cabal crystal, something or other. Anyways, so there's one last card for Warlock here. It's Neru Fireblade. It's a 5-mana 5/5 battle cry. If your deck is empty, open a portal that fills your board with 3/2 imps each turn. This is reminiscent to me of the Warlock quest. The portal, although you had to play the quest reward for mana, where this happens automatically. Now the interesting thing here is that the portal says at the end of your turn, fill your board with 3/2 imps, where the quest was at the start of your turn summon. So the nice thing with this is, like, at the start of each turn, you'll be able to attack with these imps. They're ready to go. No summoning sickness or whatever. That being said, like, if this is the payoff for all the self-mill stuff, this is an awful payoff. Like, okay, right. Cool. Like, I've got, to maybe 12 damage worth of attacks that I can do, but at 2 health, they're really easy to pick off. And then I'm milling myself, taking fatigue damage each turn. Like, okay, so what is the counter argument? Like, drop Mal'Ganis, and then you've got a big board of minions. Like, yeah, but like you've already milled your whole deck and destroyed them. Like, that means you're sitting on Mal'Ganis or something. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. It just seems bad. I give it a 1.
I guess you play Rustwicks after, which then puts rhymes into your deck.
I mean, there's ways, right? There's things that you can do to, like, you mill everything. And then there's cards that, like, you can play the elephant that shuffles extra copies in and play whatever the card is. Plot twist, right? I mean, there's ways that you can, like, empty your deck out and then fill it back up. But it takes a lot of work to actually pull off. Like, it's not worth the payoff. And on top of that, like, you don't control, like, all those cards that say destroy a bunch of cards in your deck. Like, what happens when you destroy the good cards in your deck? Like, what happens when you destroy Rustwicks, or destroy your plot twist, or destroy the cards that you didn't want to destroy,
or destroy Neru Fireblade? What if you destroy this card? Then you have no payoff for destroying your deck. Like, this is, how I kept on saying, I'm going to explain the issue that I have with this mechanic when we get here.
That's hilarious.
If you destroy this card, what's the payoff? Like, it doesn't have like a silverware golem type thing where, if you discard this, you actually put it in your hand instead. No, you just discard it and then you have no payoff and you just destroy your deck for no reason. Like, this card is trash, this archetype is trash, and it's a 1. What do you think, Hydra?
It's a 1. I didn't even think of that. That is so bad.
Right?
You just milled this card and then you're done. Like, half the time you've destroyed, like, they expect you to hold on to this and then start milling your own deck? Like, you have to draw this, then you can go?
Right.
Like, okay. Maybe there's going to be a tutor. I don't know. Like, maybe, I don't know what to tell you. It's garbage. 1.
And Neru doesn't even have a tribe, so you can't like...
That's the thing. Like,
what? Like, how do you tutor it? I don't know. You can't sense demons it out. Like, what?
I mean, you could hem it or something maybe, but it doesn't. I don't think it. I can't figure a world where this works.
I can't either.
Well, let's try.
What do you think, Mike?
What do I think about this card?
Yeah.
Look at my camera. I'm all set. Pass.
We could make this one of the weekly challenges. Oh no, we can't. It's still legendary. Nobody craft this for a weekly challenge. Never mind.
Man, please.
I forgot I said anything.
All right. Well, we're done with Warlock. Unfortunately, I'm very sad as a Warlock main that, like, these cards mostly suck, but whatever.